Hello there, partakers. Welcome to another episode of the Your Take Show. My name is Amanda. For the new people here, I am a nutritionist and I am also the host for this show. So what do we do here? We basically discuss great things about food. We discuss challenges about food. We discuss anything related to food to see that we can make our feeding lifestyles better. Why do we need to make it better? So we can live more healthy, happy, joyful, have all the vitality we need and the energy that we need to keep up with life. That's what we do here at the Your Take Show. Well, what are we going to do today? We'll get into our food thrown segment, then head down straight to our discussion room, and then do our take of the week, and finally end with a wellness quote. I'll also let you know on how you can connect with us even after this is done. So let's head right into our food thrown. Today we are going to put the food grapes onto the food thrown. Why? Are they important? Are they different from any other foods? Yes, they are. First of all, they are tasty. Maybe what we can talk about grapes is, first of all, there are different types of grapes. We have those that are named as table grapes, and table grapes basically are usually the green ones that we see people put on our tables just so we can consume at home domestically. And then we have wine grapes. Usually those are the red type, which people use, especially the wine producers, to make wine. But then we also have the raisins. Now the raisins are what comes out of dried grapes. So when they dry grapes, we term them as raisins. Most people like to use those raisins in their cake recipes, in their fruit salads. Where else do we? In maybe cookies and pies. Yeah, so that's when we have raisins, the raisins that you see in the supermarket. So those are the different types of grapes. What nutrients do grapes give us? So grapes have vitamin C and vitamin K. Those are their most significant vitamins. And why are those important? Vitamin K is important for your blood clotting, so that when you get a wound, your blood is able to clot up and cover up the wound, so you heal faster. And maybe not overbleed as well. Then vitamin C, important for our skin, important for our hair, important for our muscles. Vitamin C is everything, important for our immunity and our immune system, especially right now when we are all trying to fight corona, whether we know it or not. So grapes are definitely a food that we should be adding into our diet, and make sure we enjoy them, bring variety to our meals and the types of fruits we have in our homes. Of course, they have fiber as well, so you're definitely sure to avoid constipation and fight having piles or hemorrhoids in your on your body. So maybe one last thing we could say about grapes is, one of the most interesting things about them is there are so many of those nutrients we have just mentioned. They have minerals as well, by the way, but not very big amounts of them. But so many of those nutrients are actually under the skin, right under the skin and within the skin, and also of the grapes, and also in the seeds. So next time you're eating your grapes, please don't throw away or peel them out. Try and eat them as whole as they are with their skins. If you can chew on the seeds as well, please do so. So that's all we'll discuss today about grapes. I hope you now understand why you should add grapes to your diet. Let's get into our discussion room now without further ado. So today we had the first question that came in from Ray, and Ray was asking, are there foods that can actually help us to increase our height? Okay, so when it comes to height, some of these things are things that we can't control, especially at a particular age. When you're past 18, usually you getting to grow taller is most likely not going to happen, but I think it's important that we focus more on things that we can change and leave out things that we can't change. This is where I think the serenity prayer, I think it's called, that comes in, where you're asking for you to be able to accept the things that you can't change, but also change whatever is within your control and within your power. So my dear Ray, when it comes to height, we cannot change much, especially that it's dictated by genes, but you can help yourself grow and not sort of hold you back before you reach 18. How? all you need to do is make sure you're eating lots and lots of foods that promote bone health, number one, because if your bones are strong and healthy, they'll grow to their fullest potential that the genes allow. You need to make sure that you're eating great foods for your muscles, number two, but also you need to make sure that you're resting those muscles and bones enough as well. So yes, they are active during the day and doing so many activities, but allow yourself to rest as well. I know when we are younger, usually we want to stay up in the night, whether it's on MTN Zone or on movies or on, music, but you need to also give yourself time to rest, because then your body is able to grow to its full potential without being held back at all. So I think that's the most you can do. Great foods for bone health is dairy products, so cheese, milk, yogurt, lassi. All those are great for our bones. Great foods for muscles is lots of vitamin C, lots of protein. So you're looking at eggs, chicken. You're also looking at vitamin C foods, which is oranges, guavas, chilies. And then great foods for, we talked about the bones and the muscles as well. So ensure to eat those foods to make sure that you're able to grow as much as you should be growing without holding you back. Okay, so the second question comes in from Kitty. Kitty was asking, whenever we come from naps, there's that foul breath that comes from us after sleeping, even if you brushed before sleeping. So he was wondering, is that caused from eating food? Is food the cause of that? Well, there are actually bacteria inside our mouths that actually cause that. I'm sure they work hand in hand with food and maybe the environment inside there, the moist environment inside there, to create that foul smell. But firstly, we need to make sure, most of us, even in adulthood, even at a senile stage of life, we think we know how to brush. But I was shocked actually visiting dentists and finding out that most of us do not know how to brush our teeth very well. And that's one of the factors that could be leading to the foul breath. I'm sure all of us have a foul breath to some extent, but other people have it more than others. And so you not brushing your teeth very well is one of the factors that could actually be making that foul breath even worse. So please head down to YouTube, learn how to brush your teeth really well, visit your dentists, visit health professionals, let them teach you what actually brushing your teeth well means. Maybe we'll have a segment on that sometime to come. And then flossing also is not something for luxury. Most of us see people who floss and we think, those are just bazungu characteristics. But no, flossing is actually helping you to remove whatever got stuck within your teeth and your toothbrush couldn't help you get out of your mouth. In fact, when you smell the floss thread after you've just flossed, you'll smell that there's such a terrible stench that comes out of it. So that's evidence to show you that flossing actually does work to help us get to where the toothbrush could not get to. So don't leave it as a luxury or for bazungu, it's for us all, it's very important. We also have foods, by the way, that would help us not necessarily take away the smell completely, but they would help us with cleaning the mouth, constantly cleaning the mouth by producing saliva in our mouths. Something like okra, something like cactus, all those foods help us to produce a lot more saliva, so you're constantly cleaning your mouth. We also have water. Water is a very, very important food or nutrient that would help you to clean up your mouth, so you keep drinking water as much as you can. You could add mint in there because mint is renowned for keeping our breaths fresh, so you could add mint in your drinking water throughout the day and keep drinking on that. But also there are activities that would help you clean your mouth. People that tend to be quiet all day for long periods of time are definitely more likely to have a stenchy, a foul smell from their mouth. So talk, I'm not saying forcing you to become a weaver bird, but keep talking because it helps you to also produce saliva and clean your mouth. So Kitty, I hope that helps. Okay, so the third question comes in from Elanio Tito, and he was asking whether it's prohibited to eat beans when you have a kidney infection. Definitely, no one is going to cuff you if you don't eat if you eat those beans, but you should know that it's not very advisable because beans have phosphorus in them. Now, with kidneys, they would be overburdened if you're going to eat foods that have high phosphorus levels, and that's why you need to avoid them until at least you have recovered from that kidney infection. But also, what's important to note note here is we should be constantly eating foods, not only when we fall sick of infections, but we should constantly be eating foods to help us fight off infection and also build up our immune system. Things like garlic, like ginger, you know, anti-inflammatory foods as well, because those would help us so much with fighting against infections, preventing them actually in the first place, and also fighting them when they actually come. Another thing we could note is also kidney infections are actually an extension of UTI, urinary tract infection, that was not treated well or that was not treated at all. Sometimes we ignore them, or sometimes we don't treat them adequately, or don't take the full medical dosage of what has been prescribed to us by the doctors, and therefore you'll still have some of the infection still in there, and that's what could be causing your kidney infections. So let's learn to also make sure we treat our UTIs very promptly and also adequately. I guess that's it, Elanyu, and let's head on to now Chef Tony. I'm very glad we have chefs in our community as well. So Chef Tony was asking, what are the essential nutrients for the body to work well? Well, this was a very good question, Chef, and you know, if you're going to be having balanced meals, that's what actually brings about you us being able to say you're having a balanced diet. So you have to constantly make it a routine to eat balanced meals every single day. A balanced meal would mean you have all the essential nutrients, which is carbohydrate, protein, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, including water as well, in your meal every single day. When you do that cumulatively or every other day, then you'll be having a balanced diet, and therefore we'll say you're actually having the essential nutrients that your body needs. But another guide that we could use to help us understand what are the basic nutrients we need in our days is the food pyramid. It's just a rough guide of how we should be eating. You know what a pyramid is like. It's, you know, a triangle. So we're having, you know, things being layered or categorized according to the quantities we're supposed to have. So at the base of that triangle or pyramid is where we actually need to have lots more fruits and vegetables. That means fruits and vegetables are supposed to make up the most of our diets. Then we head on to the next phase or the next category, which will be whole foods. Whole foods means those that are not processed, the starches that are not processed. So we're looking at brown rice, we're looking at brown bread, we're looking at let's say potatoes, you're looking Irish sweet potatoes, yams, pumpkin, so whole starches come right after the vegetables. And then after that, you have your dairy products. So we have to have dairy products every single day. That's where we have our cheese, our milk, you know, our yogurt, our lassi, like we mentioned earlier on. And then right after that, you head on to, after dairy products, you head on to your protein. So proteins is beans, meat, peas, you know, mushroom. After that, then you head on to, that's when you can have now small quantities of fats and oils, because we're going to use olive oil to cook, you're going to use probably you know, ghee to cook, so that's where it comes in, but those ones are really supposed to be taken in smaller quantities. And then finally, we need to have foods that are high in salt and sugar, you know, and oils and fats, extremely high in those. They come up there, and those are not supposed to be had every day. So I hope that guides you on what is more important than others in terms of food needs. Let's head on to our last question coming from Ambro, and he was asking, he has a problem eating honey and avocado. The smell actually affects him and the taste when he gets into his mouth, and he then vomits right after eating that. Is there any other way he can eat his avocado and honey? Yes, you might find it could be an allergy if it's not a symptom of an underlying disease, because some diseases bring out you know, nausea for some foods. But if it's not that and it's allergies, you might find you're giving yourself big quantities that your body can't handle. So sometimes you need to just step a little back and have small food quantities of those foods that are bringing you, seem to be bringing you allergies. So small food quantities of honey, small food quantities of avocado, but you can also disguise them in other foods. You know, have a little bit in another food, and you might find it's actually easier and doesn't give you any effects. For example, I don't eat fried eggs, but I can actually eat eggs in cake. So that helps you understand that sometimes if you disguise a food in another, it might be easier for you to take down and actually still benefit from them. And also another important thing we should note finally as we end is if you have realized that you have foods that bring you allergies, that also means directly that you're not benefiting from the nutrients they provide you with. So you have to make sure you are finding a substitute food to provide you with those same nutrients. For example, if you're not having avocados because you're allergic to them, that means find another vegetable that's going to give you similar nutrients that are found in avocados. So your avocado, for example, gives us fiber. So make sure you're having maybe cabbage to give you the same fiber, so you're not missing out on having the nutrients that avocado would have provided you with. That ends our discussion room. Let me take a water break and then we get back with the take of the week. So our take of the week today comes from, drum roll, it comes from Baicaranabio Paul Arali. It was in response to the question that was asked by Ray on foods to increase height, and he says, I am contented with my summarized height. When it starts raining, I get hit last since I am closer to the ground. I thought that was very, motivational and great, because he has accepted who he is and he's being his best self in that state, which is what we should all learn to do. Some things are just not, they are just out of our power and out of our control. So we should learn to love ourselves the way we are and take care of ourselves the way we are. Thank you, Paul, for that take this week. So I'll leave you with a wellness quote, and the wellness quote today says, every time you eat or drink, you are either feeding disease or fighting it. So every time you put something in your mouth, remember that you're either going to be fueling for you to get sick, or actually fueling for you to remain healthy for a longer period of time. I'm sure everyone would want to die in their old age and in their sleep very peaceful and happy. So let's make that happen by eating good food to keep us healthy until then. Thank you so much for being with me during the show today. It has been such an honor. I've had a great time. But I know some of you would not want to stop there. You'd like to connect with us, and that's very possible. First of all, we have a YouTube channel, and I would invite you to go down there, subscribe to the channel, and just get in touch with all the content that's there, because it's made especially for you. The YouTube channel name is Amanda Twewaze-Nutritionist. Amanda Twewaze-Nutritionist. And then also on Facebook, we have a fabulous community of partakers that are ready to make your day, and we're just learning together about food. The page name is Amanda Twewaze-Nutritionist. Amanda Twewaze-Nutritionist. On WhatsApp, we are also there. You can get us on 0782 152610. 0782 152610. Please do WhatsApp the number, don't call the number. And then you can also find us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is Food Witness. We are also on Blogger. We have food blogs written out there for those that love to read short, captivating stories on food. The blog is amandatwewaze.blogspot.com. amandatwewaze.blogspot.com. But also, very fortunately, we show on Magic 1 TV every single week. That's on Sundays at 6 p.m. But also the repeat can be caught on Mondays at 10:45 a.m. in case you missed out on Sundays, or you just like to go through the ride again. So until then, next week when we do catch up again and break the silence on food matters, it's been an honor being with you. Have a lovely week. Bye.